Welcome. This is the first part of a 9-part series on healing music. It features the different styles of music you'll find in the 9 streams on musicinspiredbynature.com. All of this music flows from my Tai Chi Gung training. And Tai Chi Gung, sometimes called giving power to peace, is a system of health and regeneration that I found more than 35 years ago. And I've been studying with my teacher, Master Lama Rasaji, ever since. So the music that you hear is inspired by the connection to nature that has been fostered over more than 3 decades of practice. I've focused into 9 different areas, and I hope you find it helpful. Perhaps you'll discover insights into listening to music that you hadn't heard before and come away with some tools that will make your enjoyment of music that much deeper and that much more fulfilling for you. So the first category is music for meditation. In the lamasery of Tibet, the mind is approached from 3 different aspects. One is to ask, which is considered prayer. The second is to listen, which is their definition of meditation itself. And the third is contemplation, which is to become. In the music for meditation, I pulled from 2 big ideas that were very influential in the development of music since I was young. One could be described by Mozart, who said, "The music happens between the notes." I've always been drawn to music that touches the soul. And in the music for meditation, in addition to this striving to share music that will be deeply meaningful, I also used Mozart's idea and applied it in this situation by recording the original inspiration of the piece. So all 180 pieces, and most of them are solo piano pieces, are recorded in the original inspiration of the piece. And over the many years, some have been discarded, of course, and some are preserved, and you're listening to the best. I would generally practice the Tai Chi Gung exercises, connect to the life force in nature and to the divine, and reflect it in the music of the meditation. So by listening to these pieces, you can exercise your ability to meditate in small bits, 3.5, 4 minutes here or there. You can spread it out for a whole year if you like. And at the same time, you're opening yourself up to music that is of the celestial realm. Not everyone hears angels all the time when they listen, but if you listen for the angelic choirs, they will appear eventually. As you seek, you find. As you knock, it is opened. As you ask, you receive. So what I'd simply like to do is give you an idea of how these pieces are brought about. I enter a receptive state and I simply start to play. I've been playing the piano since I was 6 years old, but it was in the Tai Chi Gung training that I actually learned to create music off the page, off the written notes. And so Brahms once said, a good piece of music is like listening to where the music wants to go. And that describes this process very well. There's an ebb and a flow to phrases. There's an ebb and a flow to melodies. There's the way that harmony creates this almost etheric hologram that appears from nowhere and then disappears. So as I start, that is like the thread that becomes woven. And one of the things I've found over time is that the music is always there. It's like you're plugging in. That's kind of a crass way of saying it, but you're tapping into something that is eternal. And so while I could go on and on, you may have other things to do today, but I'd invite you to consider sampling some of the music. And one thing that I encourage people to do is develop this radar for pieces that touch you deeply, and remember them. You know, sometimes life throws you curves, and if you have a treasure chest of things to go to help you, it can be tremendously valuable. And so I recommend that people kind of keep track. You know, if you have your playlist of 12 golden pieces that bring you into a connection with the divine in ways that other pieces don't, because you connect with them, they become your power places, and places of comfort as well. I hope you join me for the second part. The second series, or second part of this 9-part series, will be on spiritual practice soundtracks. It's a category that's come together over the last 6-7 years or so. They're 90-minute pieces, and they're intended really to be off in the background, not something you listen to necessarily to connect directly, but something you have in the background to help keep your frequency high. So I'll look forward to catching up with you about the practice soundtracks in the next lesson. Thanks.